I use Goodreads religiously from 2009 to 2022, and that was back in the days when Goodreads was actually the platform to hang out, make new bookish friends, and find the book groups that like the same things you did. The biggest problem with Goodreads is that the platform just got stuck in 2009 and they've barely upgraded since. So when Storygraph first launched and showed that there could be an alternative to Goodreads, I immediately started testing all the Goodreads alternatives, and I've now tried so many web-based apps, everything, and today I'm going to be sharing my top 3 Goodreads alternatives, and I'm also going to give you some pointers on which one is going to work best for you. The first one that I want to talk about is the one that surprised me the most. It's also the most recent and the one that I'm most excited for right now, and that is Pagebound. Now, up until just a few months ago, they were only web-based, but now they're working on releasing the apps, so that is very exciting. I've been personally testing it out for about 6 months, and I love everything about it. Here's the keys of why this would be the choice for you. The first point here is the aesthetic and gamification. The platform is just aesthetically pleasing. I really love how it looks, but also the gamification aspect. You get points for every time you rate a book or you review a book. You add a comparable to that book. You add books to lists. You interact with people. So everything just keeps adding points. And honestly, I am totally obsessed with just getting more and more points, which means that I am feeding it more data so I can go up in levels. But that also means that is great for the platform itself, because the more data and more interaction you have, you're going to have a better experience as a reader just consuming content on there. The second aspect is the community forums. So the greatest thing about this platform is the fact that every single book has its own little community forum. So it's basically like a Reddit forum, but inside of the book itself. If you really want to get into deep dive conversations about specific books, this is the place for you, which I think as a bookworm and as a super fan of some of these books and series and authors, that is just amazing. So who do I think that this is the platform for? Definitely if you want something that's going to help you and encourage you to read more. Again, that point system. But also if you really want to have book discussions about specific books and fandom and really like build and connect with people, I think this is a great platform for that. Now, there are some quick limitations, so let me tell you what they are. I found that the migration is not quite there yet. For me, I have an extensive Goodreads library of over 3,000 books that I've read logged on there, plus the ones that I have on Storygraph. So for me, the migration was not so great, and I just made peace that whatever's in there, it's in there. I'm not going to go and check it. The second thing that they don't have is 0.25 stars. And the third thing that it's a little bit difficult for me to adjust to is the fact that you don't really have any editions of books. This platform is not necessarily built on like a reading log. It's more of the interaction aspect, and obviously just so that you know which books you've read and which ones you haven't. So if that is important to you, you're not going to get that here. But on the plus side, there's no AI at all being used on this platform, and the founders have said that they don't plan on including that in the future. So if that is important to you, honestly, the only choice on this list. But if you are a data nerd and you want to have all of the stats, then my second platform on this list is definitely the one for you. It is Storygraph, and I feel this is the one that it's all about stats. So some of the key points here, obviously, yes, you do get the graphs. So you're seeing not only how many books you've read, but what genres are the books that you're reading in. But it also tells you what kind of vibes you're into. So maybe you have a month where you're reading a lot of funny books, but then maybe next month you're reading more heavy books, and it will tell you that information. And maybe you adjust your reading accordingly. You'll be able to see most read authors, genres, rating averages, and at the end of each month, it will prepare these nice little graphics for you with some of that information as well. Now, some of the other features that I really love is the fact that I think this is the platform for reading challenges. The Romanzopoly reading challenge is also hosted on Storygraph. Pretty much any user can create a challenge, make it private or public. Now, book clubs do exist on this platform, but as far as I can tell, I don't think that they're as easy to interact with. So I wouldn't say that that's a strength for this platform, but you do get the 0.25 star ratings, and also you get very specific editions. In fact, if you don't find the edition that you want, you can simply add it, and that whole process is also super fast. This is actually my home base and the one that I use religiously. Now, as to some of the downfalls with this platform, definitely migration was a big issue for me, and I actually gave up on it, and I ended up just deleting everything and just starting fresh. The second aspect I think it's not as strong with is community. You can have friends on there, but I don't think that there's enough ways for people to interact with each other, just besides having a feed of like, what are your friends reading, what did they finish, what did they start, and I don't think it really lends itself to a lot of interaction between the users. Another downfall with Storygraph that I know some people have issues with is their AI features. Now, I will say that you don't have to interact with those features. You don't have to use them. It's not just shoved on you. And lastly, if you want something that really feels more like social media, Fable is the most like Goodreads platform, in my opinion, like old school Goodreads, where it really felt like social media. Like I'm talking like back in the OG days of Goodreads. I know a lot of you young ones were not part of that, and Goodreads have always felt like this cesspool of just negativity. But back in the day, it was a social media platform, and we were really interacting with what everybody was talking about and what everybody was commenting and status updates and all the things. Some of the key features, not only are you posting your status updates, but you choose whether you want to link that to a book or not. It feels like Facebook because you can do regular text posts and photo posts. You can ask for recommendations. And for a person that actually lands on the specific book, they can see all the posts that are are linked to that book. So I think that all of that, it's a really neat and interesting way to incorporate the aspect of social media and still link it to books or give you the opportunity to just speak very general. I don't think it does such a good job at having very specific book discussions like Pagebound does, but if you just want to connect with people in general, then I think this is great for that. Another thing that is really great on this platform is the book clubs. There's tons of book clubs you can join. A lot of them are hosted by really big influencers in the book space. Overall, I think that this is a place where people are genuinely active and it is successful at all of that. Also, out of these three platforms that I'm talking about today, this was the best with the migrating content from Goodreads over to this platform. It's a very simple process and most of my books pretty much went on there and it looks like they are okay. Some limitations though. This is an app only, so you don't have a desktop version. That's almost a deal breaker for me, but it might not be for you. The other thing is that the free version is limited. So for example, they do have graphs and stats for your reading, but you have to pay for the pro version of the app in order to get those. That might be something that you're okay with. I am not so crazy about that aspect. And then the other thing that I think it's a nice little bonus is you can also track TV shows as well. It's very basic. Oh, and let's not forget one of the biggest and most controversial limitations or issues with Fable is the fact that they do integrate AI within their platform, and they've been under some heat maybe more than once for some of the things that the AI summaries have said. As far as I know, the AI features are not something you can disable. Who do I think Fable is perfect for? If you're really looking to build community around reading and not necessarily the fandom of specific books, then I think Fable is perfect for that. If you were an OG Goodreads user in the 2010s, early 2010s, or even late 2000s, you're really going to enjoy this one. So that's my verdict. If you want the most Goodreads-like, but with upgraded features and lots of great community vibes, go for Fable. If you're a data nerd and you don't want any of the noise to bother you, you just want to track exactly your reads with the exact rating, then you're going to go for Storygraph. And if you just want something that is fun and gets you excited about logging on and entering data and completing challenges and just overall reading more, then definitely go for Pagebound because it's going to get you so addicted. Personally, I do pop in here and there on some of these apps. I am not consistent with tracking all my reads on Pagebound or Fable, but I do like to go in, maybe update once in a while or see what the feeds are looking like or interacting. But the one that's always a staple for me is, as a data nerd, Storygraph. And honestly, you can always go back to a physical reading journal and tracking your reads that way. I've been doing that alongside tracking digitally since 2009. I absolutely love it. I have some videos here on the channel where you can see some of my older reading journals. So I'm going to leave those linked, maybe get some inspiration. And there's also spreadsheets, Google Sheets, Excel, Airtable, Notion. I have used all of those as well. And in fact, I still use my Notion reading tracker alongside Storygraph and physical. I know, I'm crazy and extra. But I will also leave a walkthrough of my Notion reading tracker link down below so you can check out that as well if you're interested. So drop me a book emoji if you want me to do a video just flipping through all of my old reading journals that I still have. But that's it for today. Don't forget to like this video if you find it helpful and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos. Remember that I talk about all things romance, fantasy, and all the books that make us feel things here on Under the Covers. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!